But yeah, I would do that all the time. So as an intern, you get to, the one thing that you do get to do is listen to a lot of music in the studio. So, which also is really cool because then you learn the speakers and you learn how music is supposed to sound. But also it has ruined music for the rest of my life for me because because it's like once you have that, once you have a $10,000 steak, you can't go back to your Walmart steak. Like it all just sounds like shit to me now. So when I hear shit in my car, I'm like, dude, these speakers suck. Right. But it's just like once you learn good speakers, you kind of know what this stuff is supposed to sound like. But it also like your average headphones that you're going to be wearing are going to sound like ass like when you wear them. So I'm like, but you kind of get used to it and you can kind of adapt and you kind of work around it. But that's also why when it comes to marketing, like I think I see some KRK speakers over there. With the yellow woofers. They're great marketing, but terrible speakers. And it's just like, they have some of the best marketing in the world. But everybody, even me, starts out with KRKs because it's just how they do it. Right. It's just like that. But you can learn any speaker. You can, because I tell people it's kind of like looking through foggy glass. Like you can, if you're going through murky water, you can kind of figure your way out, but it's going to take you a lot longer to do so. But if you have really clear water, you don't have to take, all the guesswork is taken out. Same thing with speakers. If you have shitty speakers, you can make a good track, you can make it sound really good, but it's going to be a lot harder because you're guessing. The speakers aren't telling you the truth of what you're actually hearing because they're using crappy amps and like you're having, DSP filtering and all this crazy stuff before it comes to your ears. And then you're making adjustments off of what you're hearing out of those shitty speakers. And then when you bring it in your car or somewhere that you know how it's supposed to sound, it's going to sound like crap because you've been making all these adjustments on stuff that's not actually what you're hearing. Right. So if you have like really good speakers, $4,000, $10,000, you can go all the way up the chain, but it takes the guesswork out. Yeah. It's really transparent. And you can hear the bass and you can make an adjustment and know it's accurate. And that whole thing goes a deep rabbit hole, and you can go on to the interfaces. And
do you have any audio equipment?
I sold most of it. I had Neumann KH310 speakers, which were like my babies. They're like, I think I paid at the time like a little over $4,000 for the pair, but they were the shit, man. I built a really good sound room in my mom's house, and people fall down these wormholes and traps that I could just save them so much time. And it's just like, you never buy foam for your room if you're trying to soundproof it.
Really? Why not?
Foam is another huge marketing scam. It's basically it absorbs only the high frequencies and nothing else. So when you put it on your walls, it's going to sound like it did something, and you're going to hear a difference because you think, but it's the wrong thing you want to do. Because think about it. If you got a bunch of foam in your room and it's only absorbing high frequencies, then your mix, when it bounces around the room and comes back to your ears, you're going to be hearing something with not any high end. So you're going to compensate for that and boost the high end. So when you go in your car and hear your mix, it's going to be super bright. So the biggest problem is frequency ranges and how sound works. Is low end, of course, goes through walls and speakers, and it's very hard to control bass. Like when you hear a car going by, you're hearing bass. You don't hear all the high end and the vocals and all that stuff. You hear just the bass because they're longer waves. So you got to control the bass first. You got to get bass traps. Bass collects in corners, right? So you have your corners. Popcorn ceilings break up the sound. That's why they're so popular. But like bass collects in corners. So you put traps over the corners that basically cancel out the waves, and you can get all in the science of that. But get bass traps. Don't ever use foam bass traps, because what that'll do, and it just prevents the bass from collecting in corners and moves it to another corner. And then if you just strap foam based traps all around your room, the bass is going to be like in the ceiling, like in the wall, like it's going to be still in the room, and it's just never going to sound right, and you're going to be terrible. So if you control the bass first, cool. Moving blankets work pretty well if you're on a budget, and considering everybody starting off is on a budget, because shit adds up really quickly. All this stuff is not cheap.
It's easily over $10,000 in here.
Yeah, over the years it takes a while. Yeah, it's the same thing with audio. I spent probably well over 10 G's trying to get it all. But yeah, no foam. Use moving blankets. Go to Home Depot. You can rig something up. Honestly, just using your ears, like clapping, you can hear train your ears where sound is pinging, and those are your problem areas. And and then eventually you can kind of get